How's it going, everybody? My name is Lupe Alcides. I'm a Chicano from San Antonio, Texas. Small business owner. I have tried running a moving company for quite some time. Just a quick history of that. Started with the temp service, and we were doing different jobs. One day, we helped, not a moving company, but we helped a furniture store. And we were making like $7 an hour. This was a few years ago. This was actually before minimum wage went up to $7.50. I think minimum wage was still like $5. But you know, anything above minimum wage is actually good. So I thought it was a cool thing to be making $7. But then to find out that furniture companies and moving companies will hire temps from temp services, I was like, wow, I could do the same thing and charge more. Now, when I first started it, I was charging double what the temp service was paying us, which was very, very cheap. And then I started, the things that I have learned from experience, researching, and learning from my mistakes. I actually started looking around. I would see, this was back when Craigslist was actually a thing, and I would advertise on Craigslist, and then I got smart and I started seeing the other ads and seeing what they were charging and what they were, what services they were offering. And then I saw that everybody was charging way more than I was, because everybody would call me and say, wow, you're pretty cheap, dude. You're pretty cheap, dude. You're pretty cheap. And I'm like, why does everybody say that? So I started looking at what everybody else was charging, and I was like, wow, I do charge very, very cheap. Maybe I should charge a little bit more. And even when I was being greedy and charged more, it was still cheaper than everybody else. If everybody's charging 40, I charge 30, and it's still cheaper. But it was a whole lot more than the temp services were paying. So little by little, I was offering my services as a laborer. That's how I started, a laborer. I'll do any kind of labor jobs. And then I started to notice that most of the people would want help moving. So I was like, okay, well, I can do that too. So I was helping people move. And then people would ask me, do you have a truck? No, I don't have a truck. I don't have a truck. Started researching what I needed to get a truck. In order to, and this is what a lot of people don't understand, what you need to become a licensed mover in the state of Texas is to have an insured truck. That's the only thing you need. As long as you have a truck that has insurance, then you can become a licensed mover. It's not like you go to school like a doctor. A licensed physician goes to school and has to pass a medical exam from the board or whatever. I don't know how that works. But movers don't have to pass any kind of test. You just have to have insurance. So me having a criminal record, it was always a better option to be self-employed. So I wanted to do that, but I can't afford to have a moving truck. Even if I was to buy one, I would have to charge so much to be able to pay for that truck. And barely starting out, it's hard to get a lot of business, especially when people don't know you or whatever, even if you are cheaper. So little by little, I started researching. It's like, hey, if I rent a truck, they have insurance on the trucks. But the state of Texas still wouldn't let me do it that way because it had to be a truck that you owned. Obstacles. So even having insurance and just like if somebody wanted a truck and I called the insurance company and said, I'm going to rent a truck for that day, can I put insurance on the truck for that day? They wouldn't do that. What really sucks is, and this is a 2-part video, what really sucked was DMV came to my house because I'm a small business owner. They came to my house and said, you have to stop doing what you're doing. You're making money and we're not making money, so you have to stop. They didn't say that, but that's basically what it was, because I wasn't registered through the state. So they didn't like the fact that I was renting trucks and not giving them any money. Because to be a licensed mover, you have to pay $300 a year to have that registered truck registered through the state. So they didn't like the fact that I was renting trucks through budget and making money without giving them any money. That's basically what it was. So they came to my house and said, stop. I didn't stop. They came again and I stopped because they came a second time. But I didn't like the fact that they told me, you've been reported. And what it was is that all my competitors didn't like the fact that I was making more business and more money than they were. So they snitched me out. So that's one thing. These 2 people from DMV that came to my house told me, hey, there's a way to do it when you rent the trucks, but we can't tell you how to do it. So don't tell me that's not a scam, or don't tell me that's not BS, because it is. If you're going to tell me that there's a way to do it, but you won't tell me, you can, but you won't. That's just straight up bullshit. So there's that. So I couldn't rent trucks anymore. So now I just offer labor. You don't have to be a licensed mover. You don't have to have insurance. And the thing with insurance and bonding, what a lot of people don't understand is it's almost the same thing. Insurance is if I put your stuff in my truck and it breaks while it's in the truck, I don't know how, because we're smart movers. We have never broken anything once. But that was totally accident. But if, let's say we have your $300 TV in the truck and we don't strap it down and we just throw it in the truck and it bounces around in the back of the truck and it gets broken, the insurance will pay for that. Bonding is if I, for some fucked up reason, decide to steal your jewelry from the house while we're moving, bonding will cover that. So it's basically insurance. That's how it was explained to me, that it's basically insurance, but it's a different kind of insurance. And the lady even told me, and this is what the lady from the insurance company told me, you really don't need both. It just looks fancy, and that's what a lot of people don't understand. It just looks fancy. It looks fancy so people get impressed because they don't know. So I throw this big word, bonding. Ooh, he's bonded. This guy's not bonded, so he must be better. Having insurance and having bonding doesn't make you better. It just means that you can afford that. And if you can afford that, that means you charge more. If I was charging outrageous prices like the other people were, then I could afford all that stuff. I try to be not affordable, but fair. Fair. Because we have gotten ripped off before. Twice. So there's that. I only offer labor. because DMV said we couldn't rent trucks. Technically, I could rent a truck, but it's just a matter of getting caught. And to me, right now, it's not really worth the risk because they've already warned me twice. And that fine, I'm not willing to pay that fine just because they want to be jerks and greedy bastards about it. So that's the first part of how the government doesn't really want you to be self-employed because you're making money for yourself. If you're employed by somebody else, then you're making them money and you're making the government money because you have to pay taxes and all this stuff. Blah, 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 blah. When you go to do your taxes as a self-employed person, they automatically tax you. That's another example of how they don't want you to be self-employed. It's not cool, dude. That's like telling your kids, hey, why don't you make some money so you could buy it yourself, and then you punish them for it. Oh, well, you went out and got a job, but I'm gonna charge you rent. A 10-year-old. I'm just saying, fucked up example, but that's how the government treats you. They don't want you to be self-employed. They want you to be in the system as a sheep, as a slave. Don't think for yourself. Make money for your boss. Don't make money for yourself. It's basically how it is. It really is. So there's that. Okay. What else is the part 2 of this video? And maybe I should make a separate video. But Facebook, if you have ever used Facebook to promote your business, so you can make a page, right? A lot of people have pages, and a lot of people have several pages. I have one, the San Antonio Movers, and I have spent a lot of time, a lot of effort to promote and make my page decent. Website, I started long time ago when they had SEO, when they had HTML, all that stuff that you needed to know, like all the keywords that you plug into your website. I remember it was so hard because I would always try to put like 80 keywords, and no, that's too much. So I had to narrow it down. And some page builders limit you. You can only do so many keywords, right? So that's why mine is called the San Antonio Movers. And if you look in the description, the way the website is worded, I try to put that name, those words in the website several times, because if you do a search, that makes your page pop up. So social media, that's another way to promote your business, right? Excuse me. Twitter, Pinterest, Facebook, Instagram, everything. Because if you do a search, your page pops up. When I did the social media marketing class, it says that Facebook is the number one social media platform in the world. It has more users and more traffic than anybody, more than Twitter, more than Pinterest, more than Instagram, everything. So needless to say, I do focus a lot of my time and effort on Facebook because I thought it was a good thing. So Google has where you could do the same thing that Facebook has, but Google has been doing it a lot longer and a lot better than Facebook. So I do have a page on Google as well. I do submit my information to Google. I was doing Google ads, but that's so freaking expensive. The only reason I tried it on Facebook is because it's the number one social media platform. And I was trying to make some money, trying to promote my business. And we have gotten several responses. A lot of people just do inquiries. And what a lot of people don't understand is when you click on that ad, when you submit information, it charges you. It charges you. So, needless to say, several times that I have run the ads, I get charged $25. My limit is $25. Okay? This is the thing. My limit has always been $25 because I'm cheap. I'm not rich. I don't charge an arm and a leg to be able to afford billboards and commercials and all this stuff. So I don't do tremendous advertising, especially on Facebook. So yeah, I'm only gonna limit my spending to $25, right? Several times it has run, the ads have run several times. This idiot turned the wrong way. Bad drivers, man. I don't know why people drive the way they do. That, I'll save that for another video. So, several times it has run with no results. No clicks, no phone calls, nothing. But they still charge you because the ad is running. Facebook is a lot different from Google. Google charges you for clicks, right? But Facebook charges you whether the ad has results or not, unfortunately. But it's still getting you out there, right? People still see, hey, what was the name of that guy? I saw that ad one time, the San Antonio Movers, right? Blah, blah, blah. So, no results, but I still get charged. $25, it ain't too bad. Trial and error. That's not working. Let's change it, because you can change how the ads are worded. You can change how the ads look. You can change everything, right? Change the pictures, change the wording, change how often they run, change what times they run, change the age group that it's shown to, the distance. If I only want it to be shown to people in San Antonio, or let's go a little bit further, or the whole state of Texas, or the whole country, right? So, trial and error. But my spending was always limited to $25. I do not know how these fuckers are trying to scam me and say that now all of a sudden and I don't know where the fuck they got this from, but they're trying to say that my limit got increased to $800. So that's why these scammers charged me $750 or whatever and took all my money the other day. Luckily, Bank of America said, yeah, we see that that's like way too much money. So they credited my money back. But Facebook is trying to say that I owe them. How are you? Okay, first of all, if one ad runs $25, boom, they charge you $25. If it reaches $25, they charge you the $25, right? How are you going to say that in one day 50, and then another 50, and then 125, and then 175, and then 250? All of a sudden, it started recurring all these charges. But you can't tell me that from 25, it just, I mean, for it to go to 50, that means that the ad would have to have reached the limit twice. Like, boom, boom, real quick. That's a shitload of ads. And I know that's bullshit because usually the ads will run for a long time. And you can also put on there that you want it to run for a certain amount of time or a certain amount of clicks or whatever. So either somebody at Facebook is clicking my ad repeatedly so that it will charge me so much, or Facebook is just straight up bullshit. Because I don't see how if I run an ad and it takes weeks. There was one time that it ran for like months before they finally charged me $25. Wow. Because of the clicks, right? The clicks, call. You know how you can call somebody from their Facebook page, or you can send them a message on Messenger. So it was charging me for that. But since so few people do it or were doing it, that's why it took so long for it to finally get to that limit, you know, the $25. So how are you going to sit there and tell me that all of a sudden $50 goes like that twice? 50. I think it charged me 50 like 4 times, and then 125, and then 175, 250. Come on, dude. First of all, my limit was 25. Who the fuck changed it to 8 something? I don't know. They must have done it themselves, because I never changed that limit. Why the fuck would I put my limit at, well, there's one limit that it's 800 and something, and then another limit that's like $19,000. Whoa. Facebook really needs to fucking chill out. Facebook really needs to chill out. I know that we're all in a recession right now. Everybody's panicking because of the economy, but Facebook needs to calm the fuck down. Facebook needs to stop trying to fucking scam me, and Facebook needs to stop trying to rip me off. Seriously, Facebook, stop.